Welcome back.
Hi. How you guys doing?
I've done a lot of stuff in my life. I've had a lot of ups and downs. I've been on the brink of madness, and I've been on the brink of sadness. And no matter where the roads of my life may have taken me, one thing always remained the same. And that's I can only be me. This is the journey.
Anyways, I picked something up recently. I don't know if you can see it because it's right here. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. It's a bunch of wrestling stuff. And if you know me, if you've known me for any type of any type of...
Any length of time.
Yes, any length of time. Thank you, my dear. Any length of time. I've always been a big wrestling fan, and I was also once a professional wrestler. I kind of sucked, but I still did it, and suck it, Tyler. But, as you can see, I picked up this lot of, I think there's like maybe 13 figures here. Probably the coolest one right here. Chris Benoit, the Rabid Wolverine. You know what he did, right? We don't have to talk about that here. He was a bad, bad man. And then you got the Godfather, the Ho Train. That was probably the coolest part about him, is bringing all the hoes to the ring. Yeah. Anyways, got these figures here. They're not super expensive. If they had boxes, maybe you could get a little bit for them. You could probably get about anywhere from $9 to $13 out of any of these ones. And then you have these old LJN cards for Greg the Hammer Valentine, Brutus Beefcake, and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Then you got this Flexums, Dude Love, a Rey Mysterio mask, Olele. Susan, that was just a joke. Calm down. Don't kill me for that. Conan, tough talking guy. X-Pac. Hulk Hogan, that's the cream of the crop right there. And I know that was a Macho Man term, but this actual figure right here is the cream of this entire crop right here, because that's a super cool figure. And it's quite expensive. Like,
How expensive?
like $200 expensive.
Holy cheese balls.
Not bad, not bad. Not a bad little haul, guys. I picked all of this up for $40. So, with that being said, I should definitely be able to make my money back. Might take a little bit of time, but I've always done really good with wrestling figures and wrestling memorabilia. And, hey, it's because I like wrestling memorabilia, so it's really hard to come by because for some reason it's really hot. I don't know why. Like, you go to the stores and there's never any wrestling figures there. There's maybe like one or two, and it's all the loser characters. Like, I don't even know why they make them. So I've had this issue for a while. My computer just keeps blowing speakers for some reason. I don't know why. So one of the things that I did this week has been kind of a slow week for me. Not really a slow week, but did my normal stuff, but I didn't really do a whole lot because I just organized stuff. I took more pictures and more stuff. I picked up that lot of wrestling stuff that you guys seen. And my computer has been blowing speakers. And I've been going through speakers and speakers and speakers. So yeah. I'm doing vlog stuff.
Are you?
Yeah, because
You're doing work?
Yeah, because we do have a vlog to put out tomorrow.
Sorry, you were up here creeping around and I talked with him and made him think it was a monster, so I had to show him it.
I'm not creeping around. I'm doing vlog stuff.
No, but the creaky floor, the creaky door. Is that a monster?
That's no monster. There's no monster up here. Mommy's a Fibonacci.
I want to be a Fibonacci. Nazi.
I'm not a communist.
Yeah.
She's been on this stick of calling me a communist here lately. I don't know why that. Maybe you should be a fibber Nazi. Go change your boy.
Bubs, he's being mean to me.
But yeah, anyways, since I was so rudely interrupted, the computer has been blowing speakers after speakers after speakers, so I decided to move the tower up here on my desk because it was down there where that fan is, and it was on the floor, so I cleaned it all out and fixed that. That's one of the things that I did this week because I'm getting tired of buying speakers, especially these last speakers. These last speakers I got were edifiers, and they were kind of expensive, and yeah, one of them's blown and the other one's acting like it's about ready to blow in. Yeah, that's just annoying, and I don't want to have to keep buying shit like that. It's useless money spent.
We're around the idea of taking questions, just, ordinary life questions that, we all have. And we got a question from my mom, and I thought this would be a good way to kick it off. So, do you have a question?
Good way to kick it off, yes. I do have the question. It is, welcome back to the dark room, and here we're getting ready to talk about this question because we were cut off from my GoPro. I don't know why. It's been doing that lately. I don't know why it just keeps cutting us off.
Well, probably because you bought a Chinese knockoff.
Probably. Probably. But Tina asked, how does a fellow artist, just a crochet artist, get their friends to help share their items and get their name out there? I have done the whole business page on Facebook. It flopped. I've done Etsy, and I was putting money out and not getting views or orders. Do you want to answer first, or do you want me to go?
Why don't you go first, because you're a little more experienced in Etsy than I am. I'm pretty new to the game.
Well, I'm using this as, I'm going to answer this pretty bluntly, because it's really the only way that I know how to do it. Your best bet is to not try to get your friends to share it, because the friends that do share it are only going to be those friends that share it. Trying to get the rest of them to share it, friends or family, is essentially a lost cause. I've been in the atmosphere of online and selling stuff and, through pro wrestling. The amount of people that's actually supported me in my endeavors, whether it be through pro wrestling, Etsy, art, YouTube, or anything like that, is, I can probably count on two hands. I mean, and that's like hardcore support. That's not even like, I call them the fair weather supporters, where they might share one thing or two things, over the course of several years. So those are those fair weather people. So my advice is to try not to even get to those people, because, like I said, the people that are going to share it are going to share it. Your best bet is to try to get into communities. If you're in a crochet community or a resin community, your best bet is to try to get into those communities. But even then, it's hard, because
it becomes a competition.
At least
on the art end of things, it becomes very competitive.
And my best bet, your best bet, and even my best bet, I've always had my best support out of my own core group of people that I have. Like Destiny supports my stuff. My friend Tyler supports my stuff. My friend Rob, my friend Jesse, now Adolfo. He's comments, and
interaction is important.
Interaction is very important.
Yeah.
And I've always tried to seek that interaction from outside sources, because like I said it bluntly, you can't really depend on your friends and family at that point in time. The ones, like, I hate to repeat it again, the ones that are going to support you are going to support you in it. The ones who say they will but don't, that's on them.
I have a different standpoint from it. Maybe it's because he's a male, I'm a female. I don't know. I definitely do think there's some like more sexist elements to online support, and when you're in a business endeavor. For me personally, I mean, Tina, obviously you support the shit out of me. But like I've had great success with, you know, the Fairweather supporters and whatnot. Now I definitely do have people that like and share and all that, but don't buy my stuff, and that's fine. I'm not saying anything against that, but yeah, like I recently started running ads. I've posted in the communities like he was saying, and I've gotten good response, but it hasn't really turned many sales. I think where I get my best luck is when I'm shooting videos that show how I make my product. That's what really, when people can see how it's done, you know, look at how
Lots
fascinated.
of stuff that gets the interactions to it too.
Yeah, true that. But you also gotta break it up. Like that's something I'm learning too, is that if I overdo it with the sales pitch shit, then it's gonna make things go down. But asking people's opinions, you know, what they want to see, you know, it helps you gauge more of the types of people that, like, for lack of a better term, like, that you want to target, you know, your target buyers and everything. And, yeah, I know for me, I recently started running ads on Etsy, and, it hasn't turned any new sales from, like, any new buyers yet, but I'm getting a lot more traction on my store. And for me, the sharing, all that shit helps. But he's a reseller, I'm an artist, so I don't know if there's one definitive answer to answer your question. Well, I mean, but like you have to stay on it. Like there's sometimes, like right now I'm feeling super burnout because I'm just like I'm on this shit all the time, and I think maybe that also burns other people out on your shit, you know. So that's the best I got, really. Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those it's a fine line where you have to, you know, it's a fine, like,
you gotta pay attention to the patterns.
You gotta pay attention to the patterns, you know, you can tell if you're doing too much or not enough.
Yeah.
You know, I was just talking about this the other day, like, where I was just like, man, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I've been that way too.
You know, where like I was just like, man, I'm so exhausted with everything. Like, and I feel like this past month, like I've been grinding like hell and barely seeing anything from it. And and I understand that happens sometimes.
Yeah, you will hit dry spells, that's for sure. Because sometimes I sell out the ass, and then I'll have like a week or two or whatever where I don't hardly sell shit.
You know, yeah, like this so far this year, I went from this last month and the month before, I went from doing, you know, roughly $1,000 a month, which was good for me, down to doing like $300 a month.
Damn, I didn't realize that was that
big of a dip. So like, that gets you discouraged.
Yeah, it really does.
And then engagement dips, you know, whether it be people liking your stuff or, you know, commenting on stuff, because all of that stuff helps, especially in like on YouTube. You know, like engagement on YouTube is the one thing that drives your videos to hit more people. Like the amount of the amount of people commenting on it, the amount of people liking and sharing it, all of that stuff really does matter. And I always hate to be that guy, you know, to be like, oh, like my stuff, share my stuff, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things that, like, you gotta do it because you got to, but you don't have to. Sometimes you can get away with it. Sometimes
I think sales also, and with this whole thing, it's
a hard dynamic.
It's like seasons.
Yeah.
You know, and when I was saying you gotta pay attention to patterns, you gotta find like that mix that works just right for you. Like, I know that's a shitty explanation.
Yeah.
But I think as an artist, and you're kind of more, you know, you're in the creation realm and all that, and I think it's probably gonna be the same for you as well.
And you also gotta know where you gotta know where your sales lie. Like if you're a crocheter, you know, your best bet would probably honestly not be online. You
well,
know,
no, I disagree.
I mean, no, like not predominantly online. I would hit up like, you know, fairs and stuff like that because
that
a lot.
Shit ain't going on just yet in her neck of the woods.
Well, I'm just saying in general. Like, I don't know when she did all of this stuff. You know, the Etsy store and I don't know when and the time frame. Obviously, right now that stuff not going to be going on very much, but if and when it does come around, like I would look into that stuff. You could post stuff on. I when I first started doing reselling and stuff, I would post up flyers on all the local towns. You know, all the local spots in town that had bulletin boards. You know, most of the businesses in my town have little bulletin boards in them as you walk in. You could post stuff there. There's a lot of different ways that you can get engagement on stuff. Like if you have business cards or flyers or anything like that. And that's coming from my wrestling background of putting up flyers. That's how I remember back when I wrestled, the promoter, Tony Casa, God rest his soul, he would give me stacks and stacks and stacks of flyers because he knew that I walked around St. Louis all the time.
Right.
So that's why I started carrying a backpack with me everywhere I go. That's where it started from because my backpack always had flyers in it. If I'd see somebody sitting on a park bench, hey, we got wrestling coming up, come check it out.
Well, another thing too is like
you got to put in a little bit of work and a little bit of money.
Yeah, that's for sure. But you gotta pay attention to like what sells best for you.
Yeah. Like
if you find that you sell more blankets than anything, keep producing blankets. You know, get creative with your blankets. You know, just kind of go like that. Again, I think it is a little different as
it's a little bit different
as an artist. You know, and so you got to get a little bit more creative with that kind of shit. But and pay attention to like what's trending like in the community, like in the crochet community or whatever. And like what I often do and what gets me sales is I'll see like two things that are popular and I'll mesh those two things together to stay within that like trendy status while doing something with my own spin on it. And so like you got to target your audience essentially, but you got to bring them to you like in that way. And so if blankets sell best for you, you know, and you see that like black light shit and fucking I saw that you had made the American flag blanket, like do something creative with that, like, you know, mesh those two things together to create something new but while still staying within, you know, that box of like what's hot right now. That's that's what I do, and that's where I find success at with that kind of shit. Like you can't just be putting out like basically the same thing as everyone else because then it gets, what's that word when something gets like washed out?
I don't know. Help us with that. What is that word? We don't know words.
Oversaturation.
Yeah.
Or oversaturated. Yeah, you don't want to have it get oversaturated and like meshed in and blended in with everything else. So. But
I mean, other than that, it's just a lot of hard work and grinding. It seems monotonous and it sucks sometimes. Sometimes it's very rewarding. Like you seen earlier in the video, like I scored a super cool Hulk Hogan figure, you know, that if and when it sells, it's going to be, you know, $100, you know, or more, you know, and I paid $40 for an entire lot. So technically, you know, I'm good. By the time I sell everything from the lot, I'm going to quadruple my money, which is good, but that doesn't always come around.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of times it's hard, and sometimes you got to put a lot of money in it to make anything. And
yeah, that's for sure.
that's the hard realities of doing anything online.
Yeah, I know. I definitely.
You got to put a lot of time,
yeah,
and a lot of effort to do anything in the online atmosphere, whether it's art, YouTube videos, reselling, You've got to put a lot of time, a lot of hard work, and a lot of patience.
Yeah, you gotta dedicate a lot of shit to it.
And you gotta dedicate, a lot of time. Other than that, I mean, there's nothing really more that I can say about the question because, I mean, I think we pretty much...
Long-winded as fuck answered it.
Well, yeah, long-winded as fuck, just like we do. That's what we do here. But
That's what we do.
That's what we do. Mark Henry would make me... I'd be proud.
Words.
Words, yeah. Mark Henry, you would be proud. It's what I do. Yeah. But other than that, you guys, take care. Thanks for stopping by the vlog this week. And another long-winded outro. Sometimes the vlogs are just going to be kind of thrown together and kind of boring. And
it's been one of those weeks.
It's been one of those weeks. We haven't really done a whole lot.
No, but that's part of keeping it real here too. It's like, you know, behind the scenes shit. Okay, well this is the behind the scenes shit. It was a slow week for the both of us, but busy at the same time without a lot of a turnout and fucking being old and tired and shit. Like
she redid she revamped her store. She got a new nice banner at the top of her store, which is super cool.
Yes, it is.
You know, I think I redid mine today.
Nice.
Yeah. And just a lot of revamping. I took a lot of pictures of a lot of stuff. It's just, like I said, it's a lot of grinding, so there wasn't a whole lot of action. We pretty much stayed in the house all week.
Yeah. For
the most part.
Yeah. And
except for me going to work and everything like that. But, yeah. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for stopping by one more time.
Peace and flowers.
Get out of here. But you better be back next week.
More to come, motherfuckers.
More to come. Hopefully.
There will be.
Probably. Say that again?
No, I'm not gonna.
Dirty communist. And just F off Susan Wojcicki from YouTube. Seriously. Give me back my monetization, please.